Welcome back to Light Talk, where the paranormal and the supernatural is a part of our everyday lives. Today, we have absolutely, I'm thrilled to have these two on today. It's a mother and son team, and I'm excited to have them. So, welcome you two, and go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you so much. We're delighted to be here. So I'm Christina Harlan,
I'm Jake Harlan.
and we run a writing business together where we both write our own personal, like fiction writings. We write a series together, and then we both write our own books. But we also do ghost writing for other people, and it's not as spooky as it sounds.
Well, we can write about both other people and about dead,
about
the dead. We can write about those kind of ghosts too.
And we can ghost write.
But primarily, the Underground Book Club is about writing books for other people. We've had a lot of interesting clients, and so we want to now. We're so good about writing other people's stories. Now we want to share our story.
Oh, yeah, this is a very good point. You do get to where you're so busy writing for other people, you forget to talk about what's happened to you. So here is what basically got us started on supernatural adventures, as we like to call them, was about 15 years ago. I decided to start writing a series of ghost hunter adventures. And I just realized, you're supposed to write what you know. And what I realized was I had really only seen things like this in movies and on television. And I thought, I don't want to write what everybody else tells me. So I want to go have some adventures of my own. And Jake.
We both worked in the same law firm in Kansas City.
Yeah.
She helped me get a job at that law firm. And when you're at a law firm, you either have a lot of work to do or you don't have much work to do at all. So we had a lot of time to write. We both became very good writers there at that law firm where we were definitely working all the time. And I think when we were batting around plot ideas to each other, we settled on books about the supernatural. That's what we were both interested in. And so Christina Harlan here, she's the main writer, of course. She's been doing this her whole life.
Well, it's just because I've been doing it longer. I've had more time to get books done. So
she wanted to write about a team of paranormal investigators. Well, then that led us wanting to do it ourselves, wanting us to go around the Kansas City area, around the Missouri area, and finding the most haunted locations we could around here. Well, I think one of the main reasons we're here on Light Talk with Dana is that so she can talk to us and she can talk to everyone here about how to properly become how to be safe, how to be prepared for your own paranormal investigation. When you are bumping around in a derelict building, what do you need to do in order to stay safe, not just from physical dangers, but from the supernatural dangers too? Because we have plenty of stories. We have a few grisly encounters that could have gotten worse. We have a few very unfortunate, well, almost unfortunate things that happened to us. We managed to get out okay.
We're fine. But when we first spoke to Dana, as she will attest, we were telling her all of these stories, and we realized in answering her questions that we had been on quite a few, like even guided tours of haunted locations where the people taking the tour, guiding the people, didn't really seem to have a lot of experience and didn't know what to do ahead of time or afterward to sort of ensure that the tour didn't stir up any trouble.
I wasn't going to let my mom go to these places by herself, so I wanted to come with her and keep her safe.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, no problem.
But it was not to say they didn't do. I mean, some people are very good tour guides for this, but others, as you'll see from our stories, we had a few people who didn't really seem to get it. And so that was interesting too. We have learned a lot, though.
Before we left, we wondered, well, actually, we weren't really thinking of how do we stay prepared. We just kind of went to these haunted locations without doing any kind of prep work or talking to a professional or keeping ourselves safeguarded. We weren't thinking along those terms.
No, we didn't, because like I said, we'd only seen it on movies and TV. And honestly, at first, I was skeptical enough that I was like, what could happen? But after you go to some of these places and feel how clingy
how
the
different they
atmosphere
are.
can be, and how just dark and oppressive your feelings can get there. You realize, yeah,
They're known as haunted locations for a reason. I
there's a
mean, they're
reason. Yeah.
infamous.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about one of those, or do you have any questions
Yeah,
for us,
we
Dana?
can certainly give a pause here and let you ask us anything you want to know.
So you guys went off on your own with no preparation.
No. Well, I
So
mean, besides like packing up some Starbucks drinks in the back, no, we
No, I
had
mean, we
no.
really were pretty inexperienced all around.
We didn't contact anyone. We didn't do any meditation. We didn't like really send any prayers out. We didn't do anything like that. And we probably should have.
Yeah. It wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years later that I actually read a book about like protective circles and lighting candles like to the four cardinal directions, and just, I mean, things like that, protection that you can do for yourself just around your own house.
Yeah.
No, we had no idea. We were quite naive.
yeah, I know we spoke about that when we talked before about protection and all of that. Have you been on any investigations since then? And have you tried to do some protection this time?
We've not done any since. I think probably around October is when we like to go usually.
Well, that's when the tours become most available
Yeah.
where we are, because people like to do it for the spooky season, and that's when tours come open.
In fact, if during the show, if we get any more tips from you, we would love to hear them.
Yeah, exactly.
We can maybe, hopefully, with this episode, tell other people how to stay safe if they want to start their own little tours.
But I do want to say we didn't just do guided tours. Jake and I also did a lot of and like we just kind of wandered.
We poked around on our own. Yeah.
We did a lot of poking around on our own. Many of the places that we have stories about are places that we just went by ourselves.
I bet a lot of people would say, "You went there? You did what?
You did what?
Alone?
You went
Are
where?
you kidding me?" And we, the two of us were like, "Oh, whatever."
So we're going to be an object lesson,
Yeah, I
basically.
think that's a good way to put it.
But I mean, I will say we came out of it okay, as far as we know. But it's also interesting to hear an experienced person say, "You got to be more careful than that."
We're able to talk about this with a laugh in hindsight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's very important to keep yourself safe. I haven't been on any investigations yet myself, but I am looking for people around my area to start up, to start working with them and doing my own investigations with them so I can learn the proper way to start it and end it. So you're not coming home with anybody or,
Right. Because there's
Right.
a chance for you to take spirits home with you if you go to these places, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. I have heard of people going out, doing their thing, and coming home possessed. Um, so yes, you
Oh my
do have,
gosh.
yeah, you do have to get protected. You do have to have your protection, build your walls. I like I say, I haven't done it, so I'm still, I don't know fully what to do, but I know there's things you need to do to protect yourself before and after, so that you go into it protected, um, and to come home before you get in your car, you do another protection so they don't come into your vehicle with you. And I have heard of people being followed home and being followed to other places because they didn't protect themselves. So yes, I highly suggest if you do anything like this to protect yourself.
We know that now.
We know that now.
I think we had maybe one incident where we were starting to think something might have come with us. And that was the taxidermy house. But
I don't think we should get into that right now.
no, we're not going to talk about that right now. That's a later thing. But I mean, so far so good. But I mean, Dana, you're very sensitive. So I mean, you probably are at more risk than most people, wouldn't you think, because of your sensitivity and or are you better equipped to defend yourself?
In some ways, I would probably say I'm better equipped for
Oh,
the little knowledge that I have. Um, just having the knowledge that I need to protect myself before and after. So
Okay.
that right there is where it's where I feel like I would be better protected. But if you don't know it and you're just walking into these places, so many things can happen. So
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. Well, we started on our own. It was in springtime, so we were nowhere near a Halloween season, but I said, I want to go look, I want to go exploring. I want to see some places that are maybe, if they're like, we didn't know what's haunted and what's not. Oh, of course, places will have reputations, but
you, you never know which of these places are actually haunted and which are just like come into our definitely haunted diner.
Yeah, our diner,
our haunted food special.
We've got a ghost in the kitchen. I mean, who's to say they don't? But it is a little.
You can't be sure until you're actually there.
People like to say that, but Missouri, has got a lot of history here and a lot of abandoned places, very isolated areas.
Driving just hours and hours of empty ground, just trees, miles and miles of trees, nothing around. You're miles from a hospital or civilization or anything, and so you can imagine what the horrible stuff's happened in the past, or maybe happening currently. We don't know.
We went to places like we went to cemeteries, of course, but that's the low-hanging fruit. That was actually cemeteries I found to be very peaceful, and there was seldom any unpleasant feelings at all there. But other places we went were a shut down copper mine. No, it was a lead mine.
Lead mine, yeah.
A shut down lead mine, which was, well, we saw a shadow there that was unexplainable, and we went to house psychiatric, the psychiatric museum, and then the big one was Belvoir Winery, which is hard to say. So if I stumble on that, is Belvoir, like French winery, and that is a location in Independence, near Independence, Missouri, which is rather close to us. And this is a building where it is a winery, but it is attached to a series of older buildings, and whatever these state-run buildings were used for over the last 150 years, an asylum, an orphanage, a hospital, a nursing home. It's been through like every iteration you can think of this will be haunted now. Was it a prison too?
Probably. Imagine you drive up and you go, it's a winery and it's open now. You could go in there for wine tastings. And then you go to, I don't know, an employee, and the employee will be like, oh yeah, and also an extremely haunted building is right back there. And there's a graveyard outside. Just so come in, have some wine and nibbles. And so we
tried the wine, but we did go into the buildings.
Well, tell Miss Dana what happened
when
we wanted to see inside of that place.
These places are abandoned and they're closed. And I say that with air quotes. They're closed, they're locked, but they're not. I mean, you can get into, because we got into one, and we're not like, with our thieves kits, over picking locks or anything. We just walked in. But what happened was we were exploring out back, just taking pictures with no intention of breaking into any buildings, when suddenly this woman we have never seen before and never saw since comes up to us, and she says, she's like, do you want to go inside? And we're like, yeah, of course we want to go inside. She says, I know a way in. All right, so automatically,
it sounds like the beginning of a horror movie.
I know. It's like, and you all survived this.
These things happen.
So we said, okay, take us in. We're like, we can take her. She's little. If she comes at us. So she showed us a way into probably the most scary building I've ever been in my life. It's
part asylum, it's part hospital, and so I mean, it's like every horrible, creepy building thing you could picture is all collected in this place.
It's falling down. I mean, the walls are like that. Those cinder blocks that they don't really fall down, but the stairs are a mess.
Ceiling tiles,
the cages peeling. But they've left things there. There's chairs and beds that you would not want to touch. Anyway, okay. never mind. Just trust me. It was creepy as all get out. Quite dark. The only lights are our flashlights and what's coming in through the windows, and it was dusk.
My job is to sort of be the photographer because we wanted to capture
Mhm.
some reference images for our book series. And also I was there to protect Chris.
And I was there to protect him,
Right,
right?
right, right.
So,
I didn't have much else with me. I think I had a camera and I had a little pocket knife in case we were attacked by a raccoon or something.
so we followed, and we got brave. I was like, okay, let's go upstairs. She led us up the stairs and through the house, through the building and the hallways. And there's just every door you pass, you're like, what could be behind this? But she and Jake got somewhat ahead of me. I had stopped to sort of take in the atmosphere. And then I'm going to let you take over here because you're the ones who heard the voices.
We went upstairs. We found a larger area, I assume, where they kept all the people on stretchers. And that's when I started hearing voices. And it sounds very typical, starting to hear voices, but it wasn't just like a faint whisper on the wind. It was like, ooh. No, these were like shouting voices. They were angry and they were distant, but they were clearly very upset about something. There was an exchange of money going on. I, I couldn't. It was like I looked at her. I looked at our guide, like, oh hey, Miss Guide, this is bad, right? And the guy didn't react to this. She wasn't paying. It's like she was walking along. It's like she wasn't even hearing this. She was like right next to me. I saw this was the area with graffiti on the walls. There was words written on the walls in black marks. And I was like, oh, so the people who were angrily yelling at each other about money, we're not worried about this. Okay, all right, fine. And then as soon as Chris catches up with us, the voices stop, of course. So I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I didn't hear voices,
right,
but
great.
only I guess Jake.
I didn't know what
Heard
could
the-
be around, and so that's when I got my little knife out. Now I wasn't like brandishing like a pirate, but I kept it sort of down at my side. But I was worried at this point. I was starting to sweat because I didn't know if she was messing with us. I didn't know if this was some kind of like planned tour thing where it's like, oh hey, we're going to pull a little prank on the people who come in the house and have these people jump
See,
out and
I
scare
don't
them.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know about.
if that was planned, it never happened because then she led us back downstairs, and then what happened?
Then she vanished.
And she vanishes.
She leads us back downstairs, and then suddenly
We turn a corner.
we turn a corner, and she's not with us anymore.
It's so many twisted dark hallways.
Yeah.
We turn one corner and then over another, and we
Admittedly-
look down the hall and see no one there.
Yeah, the first floor was quite dark, and so I mean, if she wanted to slip away, she could, but she just gone. We went outside, no sign of her. We went back in the winery, no sign of her.
They were like, "What employee?"
Yeah,
No, they didn't say it. They didn't say that, but I imagine they did.
She was a small, just a kind of a petite woman, dark hair that was pulled back in a bun. She had on just like jeans and a sweater. She didn't look unusual and she was very friendly, but I guess she was done with us.
Oh, you can believe when I got out of that building, I'm like, I was, I seriously thought we were going to be attacked. Yes, by people who had money problems or something. I don't know if these were actual spirits. Back in the day when this building was the only hospital around miles and miles around, and when you were also keeping your insane, I imagine money was quite a big issue.
Well,
I imagine those remnant feelings could have lingered for some time.
Money is always something people fight about, but yeah, I mean,
people arguing about keeping their insane here, arguing about keeping their elderly in this hospital. Who knows? Or it could have just been two homeless guys upstairs that our guide refused to acknowledge. But I find that very suspicious. Okay.
yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that was our first very odd experience. And
so of course, me and Chris were like, well, we got to do that again.
Yeah, we need to do that again. But not at the Belvoir. It's I don't think it's terribly safe. So I would say to anybody who wants to go there, this was, what was this, 10 years ago that we were there? Just be very careful. If any Missouri people say, I'm going to go see that winery, just really watch out. Like, wear your boots, and there could be.
Well, you got to do more than that. I think Dana's going to have some good suggestions.
I'm not even talking about
spiritual.
Okay. I just mean if you're going to try to approach these buildings, just
and maybe call someone ahead of time. So you're not met by, hello, call the business ahead of time.
Oh, they
And
tell
be
you
like,
not to come, probably.
oh, well, that's true. I'm
Remember,
okay.
we snuck in.
Oh, that's right.
All right. So honestly, but how much ghost hunting is done by sneaking into places? Probably a
Yeah,
lot.
that's true.
I mean, here we
Okay.
are, like making our recorded confession.
Yeah, you're recorded. You got you on tape now. No, that's
Uh-oh.
one thing I've been hearing lately too, is when you do these kinds of investigations, you do need to have permission.
Yeah, I'm
Because
sure you do.
not having permission can stir up extra spirits. It
Oh,
can stir
maybe
them up
maybe those
because
voices.
you're trespassing per se on their
We were.
property. So that is something next time you guys go out, make sure you have the okay to be there, because yeah, it could stir up some of those spirits that are like,
Well, that's an
no.
excellent point.
Maybe those voices were angrily yelling about money for a reason.
Maybe they didn't want you in their spot.
They didn't think I was admitted into this place.
Well, however, the funny thing is, with our guide, I'm doing my air quotes again, with our guide, we kind of felt invited. So it was strange. It was like she said, "Come on, let me show you the way in." We just sort of,
Oh, well, I mean, in the sort of vein as a slasher movie, where it's like, come in, come
oh yeah. Well,
inside.
you know what? I mean, I tend to trust people, so maybe I'm too trusting. Um, he's
Was,
getting a
was
side
she
eye
in
from Jacob.
was she in full apparition? Like she looked just like me,
Yeah,
and like the
she
two
was.
of you, she was
Yeah, she
fully.
was head to toe. It just seemed like she just seemed like someone else who happened to be there looking around. But she knew an awful lot about it. So either she had been there many times before. I mean, I don't want to like assume anything, but she was an unusual encounter that we had.
Yeah. Uh, that was one of our first major experiences doing this, and then I think at the
Yeah.
time I'm not sure if we quite processed what it meant. Maybe it was a warning to us, like you need to do more, you need to prepare better next time. We but we kept at it.
I think it did nothing but make me
No.
more interested,
Yeah, exactly,
actually. I mean, it was like actually it's so interesting to it was kind of adventurous. I mean, here I am like I'm like nearly middle aged at the time, and I'm like, oh, I'm having a little,
we spend all day in an office in Kansas City.
yeah,
I
when
mean, like
you're
our
kind of looking for some fun. So
the most exciting part of our day is merging a couple lanes over to get in the right road to get out of the highway.
it's sort of like I think maybe my eagerness was another factor that maybe made us jump in a little faster than we should have. What else did we look at alone? We went to Glore, the psychiatric museum alone.
I think our next big trip was to the
Oh,
state
the state
penitentiary,
pen,
the
right,
state pen in
right.
Jefferson City here in Missouri.
Now that's a very famous site, and I bet your viewers have seen it on any one of numerous ghost hunting shows.
Before we go into our next little story here, which I'm fine with doing, but I wanted to ask Dana.
I'm sorry, I
please,
didn't mean to get ahead.
Dana, do you have any questions for us or anything you want to talk to us or the audience about?
I think you're doing fine. I think you're doing fine.
Okay.
I'm just glad you guys got out of the one building safe and
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
And yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're doing great. Just go ahead and I'll jump in if I have
Okay.
any questions for you. So
Yeah, just give us a wave or something if you need us to slow down. But yeah,
stop.
it
No.
so Jefferson City State Penitentiary is a famously haunted location in Jefferson City, which is our state capital. There's a penitentiary that's been there for, gosh, it's got to be 200 years now, and it didn't start that way. It started as something else, but then it became a prison, and then it's now mostly shut down. But they did several executions there, and there are almost like catacombs in it, where during the Civil War and things, people were held. They look like dungeons. If you go down deep enough into that place, there's a dungeon. Very frightening place. And I think ghost hunting shows love to go there because it's very, very active.
Some of our family live around the the Jefferson City area, and so they offered to come with us this time. And so I thought, hey, bring in a little
Bring the
backup.
whole
as well.
family
Yeah,
in. Sure, why not?
In case we have another encounter. No, it wasn't like that. It was more for like, oh, hey, let's a family activity. Let's all go. So my grandmother, Susan Greer, and my uncle Brent, they came with us. And we get to this place. It is on the outside. I mean, it just looks like the worst building.
It is
to be.
It's extremely intimidating.
This intimidating 30-foot Gothic exterior that looks like a haunted bank. And inside is this sickly green light that is hitting the windows. I mean, I'm not exaggerating here. Sickly green light on the windows.
Pretty scary looking.
And so already this looks like one of the haunted attractions you would see, like the Beast or the Edge of Hell in Kansas City. But we're just like, all right, let's go. All right,
yep, in we go.
This sounds fun. We go inside, and this one is a more guided tour. So we found a tour guide who takes us he took us to the gas chamber out back, so another good sign.
That was bad. But see, this is a very popular.
Yeah.
I stopped doing air quotes, Chris. This is a very popular ghost hunting location, but they don't talk about protecting yourself or anything. They're pretty much just like, come on in and here's the tour. I mean, do you remember them?
Well, maybe due to their presence, it was more protected. So maybe we don't have to really worry.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Well, immediately, my grandmother, she can't continue.
Yeah,
we barely
right away.
We barely get into this tour, and she has to stop. She has to go back into the car, and she has to sit down. And we're like, oh. And so immediately that's worrying. A necklace I'd received that day, it broke in the parking lot, and so I'm like, oh, that's another good sign.
Don't you have an omen necklace breaking out? Yeah, the building is there's a lot of activity there, and everybody had kind of a different experience. My big moment was I actually got to have one of the EMP detectors, and I had a big alarm go off on that. And when I was standing quite alone,
imagine a cell block, like a big rectangular cell block. It's dark in there. They don't really turn on.
They do not turn the lights on.
And then you just see this metal staircase that leads down into more darkness.
Dungeons, basically.
And then here comes Chris. She goes down the metal staircase, and as soon as she gets down there, now I wasn't there, but you said your EMP device, it flickers on, and it
was a loud signal.
It was one of the few times our devices actually turned on. Otherwise, they weren't really turning on at all.
Right.
And so that beeps, and then it stops beeping. And you told me you could not get that to happen again.
To come back. And so I did the thing where you look around and make sure you're not standing under like the furnace or something, like I was near no machinery. I was next to a staircase, and that's it. And
this place was just like rows of bars and horrible cuts. I mean, there wasn't like machinery here.
No, not really. And it wasn't heated or air conditioned, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I had a very strong signal right there. And I was watching it and I thought, am I alone? And then about that time, the signal went off, and I wish I could have. I pulled everybody back. I said, come here. And of course, it wouldn't happen again.
I get an encounter at the winery that no one else can see. You get one at this penitentiary that no one can see.
It was an EMP. But what I was going to say was, despite that, they had experiments going on in a lot of rooms. They had
currently, not like at the moment.
Oh, I don't know what they're doing at the moment. But I mean, when we were there were people doing things in other rooms. I wasn't the only one with the detector.
There were people looking for ghosts.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know what their results were, but I will tell you that place, if you go there with any sensitivity at all, I can't imagine how overwhelming it would be. because the place is sticky with like bad. It's bad mojo. It is not a happy place. There's been a lot of suffering there.
So you're pretty sensitive yourselves if you can feel that. That's sensitivity.
It's in the walls. It's terrible.
Yeah, you're feeling it. So there's some sensitivity going on there. So did you feel anything like actually touch you?
Brent did. I know.
That's right.
Nothing touched me. Your necklace broke,
Yeah.
and Brent laid down in one of the cots because that's what Brent would do.
Yeah.
And he said he felt someone next to him or standing beside him.
I think just
Get him
someone
on the line.
next to him. There we go.
Hey, Brent, how's you?
Dana, when we were talking, we were telling you all this. You were like, you all need to be really careful about this, and you need to be prepared. You were saying we should try and come into contact with a couple of entities. We should come into contact with a real world sort of like psychic or exorcist to help us in the future. And you were also saying we should get spiritual guidance from someone from beyond. Like we should try and talk to someone who is not on our plane.
Just mainly to get in touch with somebody that can help you prepare for anything that can happen.
Okay.
Do you have any tips for in that regard? Because I know we talked about this before. I don't think we got it on Light Talk.
But yeah, it's just connecting with, you could connect with like a psychic, a medium, another paranormal investigator, and just ask them what they do in their preparation before they go in and do the investigation, how they do the investigations, and how do they protect themselves throughout the whole step, beginning, middle, and end.
How do they prevent themselves from spirits coming home with them? That's something I after I heard you talk, that's something I'm kind of worried about anymore.
Yeah,
because go ahead.
Go
ahead.
When I am, since I haven't done an investigation like that, but I do pick up on other people's feelings. I pick up on their energy. So one thing that I do is when I notice I'm feeling suddenly a different feeling, like I could be happy and joyful, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I get this like, oh, just down. That's most likely me picking up on somebody else's energy. So what I have to do is say, hey, my energy that belongs to me can stay, but any other energy needs to go back to who they belong to. I send them back to their things, and about a minute or less, I'm feeling different again because I've sent their energy back to them, and I'm not taking on their energy, so I have to send it back. I'll keep my own. I have to be responsible for my own energy, but not anybody else's.
That's cool. I wish I had met you before I started writing my book series, because I had an empath in my books. Her name was Sally Friend, and she called herself a psychic vampire, but she was very young, so that might not have been the correct name for it. But she fed off of other people's emotions, and I think it would have been interesting to hear like the real deal before writing that.
You might have been able to have some accurate terminology.
I think it's very interesting that you have to sometimes send that energy back if it's not.
Yeah.
Now, if you get really positive, happy energy, do you like to keep that, or do you also have a barrier?
Yeah, the higher the energy you have, you'll attract that kind of energy. So that's good. Having good energy is good.
Okay.
I mean, if you're getting overwhelmed by it, then it's like, whoa. You got to keep it level to yourself, to where you're comfortable. So I like to be on a higher energy, as high as I can be. So I try to keep that up. but when you have
I
others
see.
that are
Okay.
coming through, and they are called energy vampires. You do have
Okay.
people when um, at my work, I can walk into the building being myself, my happy self. But I do have a lot of vampires because what they're doing, other people, um, everybody's able to see each other's auras and their energy, feel their energy. So when
Okay.
you go
Yes, I
to a
believe that.
place that you are big, you have your white energy, you have your protection, you're all glowing, you're all, shining that bright energy. You get somebody else that is like, I want that energy too. So what they'll do is
Yeah.
they'll like have a spiritual war with you, not knowing they're doing this, but they'll have a spiritual war with you and they'll take some of that energy from you to bring you down. So
Okay.
your energy
I
is
think I felt
coming
that
down.
before.
Yes.
Do you think
Yeah,
maybe
it's
that's what happened to Grandma? Like she was about to enter the prison, and do you think she got all the energy sucked
Well,
out of
if
her?
anybody's going to have, like, if you're sensitive to energy and you go to a place like the penitentiary in Jefferson City, I can't imagine you being able to do that without strong protection in place, because that place, even if you're not very sensitive, it's extremely powerful.
I
I could,
yeah,
I could feel it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so yeah, maybe she just said, no, no,
She
I'm
felt
not going to
she
put
felt
myself through
it
that.
drain her immediately, and she has to go sit down.
But just talking about
Yeah.
regular life, I mean, I can absolutely believe what you're saying is there's
Mhm.
people out there who just, bless their
They're called,
hearts, they just
yeah.
bring down the energy, and I can
And
see that being
now
a
I've heard
problem.
stories about the spirits not only feeding off of energy, but coming home with you and inhabiting your home from another site. That's scary to hear.
Hmm.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about that when we first started.
Yeah. So
I
you have
think
to be
when we
careful.
definitely, I
Okay,
don't think anybody really said anything about that till we went to the Sally House in Atchison.
that's right.
And the guides there at Sally House, which is another quite famous
I
haunted
think if
location,
anyone has heard of a haunted location around the Missouri area, it would be the
it's
Sally
probably
House.
Sally House. Although, let me clarify, it's not in Missouri. It's just across the state line in Atchison, Kansas. But
I kind of
still,
meant around the area.
yeah, I know, but I'm just,
I think anyone who doesn't live
It's
in
all the
Missouri thinks that
same.
Kansas and Missouri are the same place. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Kansas and Missouri.
Yeah.
We really, you can't tell a difference. But it is just in case anybody would get confused, it is in Atchison, Kansas, but it's very close to us. And so Sally House is quite well known as a haunted location, and um, it is that is where we had the most experienced guides who said, let's meditate before we leave to make sure and tell everything to stay here.
Sally House was originally operated by a doctor, and not operated by, but what caused it to be haunted in the first place was a doctor lived there, and back in the time when he lived, there wasn't like organized medicine or a lot of organized hospitals in the area. It was like if you want to have your if you have a sick child and you need them to see a doctor, you go to someone like just someone's house,
Yes.
just like a doctor who just lived around the neighborhood. And so a woman took her sick daughter to this doctor who just lived in the little neighborhood, and she said, "My daughter is sick. She needs to what needs to be done?" And this doctor was like, "Oh, I'll take her upstairs and operate on her."
Well, she had her appendix was
That's right.
bursting.
Her appendix is
It was
bursting.
a burst appendix, and there was no time to transport her to a hospital, which would have taken hours.
Yeah.
So he operated there, and I mean,
The
skip the
operation
gory details. It was not.
the operation was apparently so
It was
gruesome.
a gruesome, terrible
Yeah.
operation, and the child died there, unfortunately. And so she was the first ghost that they said they saw there.
Right,
But
but what amazed me, we get to this house, and it's not a big place. It's just a little two-story
quite small,
humble
actually.
little home, but it's like every part of it was just otherworldly, I would say. It felt like you were stepping into a movie set.
Yeah.
And I'll let Chris here describe it more in detail. But what I was told by these experienced guides is that it's not just this girl who haunts this place, but apparently her energy was able to draw in dozens, if not, I'm sorry, hundreds of other ghosts to this location.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
They said that people have all kinds of experiences there, and the child herself, there are toys all throughout the place, and there's stories that the toys are played with, that you can see them being played with sometimes. But
Describe what this place looks
Okay,
like, because
all right.
it's just nuts.
it's never what you're expecting, right? So this is on a suburban street in a town, an older street, of course, because the houses have been there for over 100 years, but still, it's a neighborhood. And then just in the middle is this pretty unassuming little house that is a notoriously haunted place. And it's 2-story staircase, windows, a porch and a back porch. You walk in and the place will just cling to you. It's got a heavy, sick atmosphere. Almost everybody on our tour felt sick when they were inside. People, their heads started hurting, nausea, feeling faint. A lot of people had to go back outside.
These are people looking for ghosts.
Yeah. I mean, this was intentionally a ghost hunt.
They brought equipment with them. They brought dowsing rods.
Yeah.
I was taking pictures, and every picture I was taking was getting dots.
Those little orbs. Yeah, a lot of the things like that.
People were going out and throwing up in the yard.
Our guides told us that might happen, but until it did, I was surprised at how many people reacted very badly to that house.
You walk in and it's like pretty well lit, and like the first thing you see is a staircase to your left, and then next to it is a doll in a baby cage.
Yeah, there's toys everywhere. It's extremely creepy.
I know that thing's had
that doll moved, by the way.
I'm sure it's had.
And it is not inhabited. Nobody lives there. I mean, there's too many ghost hunting teams coming in and out for that. But there's an upstairs with like 2 or 3 bedrooms, and then there's a basement, which is probably the scariest place I've ever seen in my life, because it's an old style cellar. Then it was refurbished to look more like a modern basement, modern meaning 60 years ago. And then there's a cave. Why is there a cave? There is a hole in the wall.
Bricks removed from the wall, and inside is just a cavern.
It's a cavern, yeah, and it's not huge, but you could easily park a car in it. Okay, so there is a cavern in the basement. So what happened with us there? I'll finish this up real quick, and then
please.
All right, so I'm still inexperienced, and I mean, all I know is our whole group is getting sick. And the guides are like, that's okay. You don't have to stay. You can go back outside. I went upstairs. Jake and I went upstairs into one of the bedrooms, and we finally managed to
By
get
ourselves.
sort of a room by ourselves. And I said, okay, I want to listen to this house. So I intentionally closed my eyes and sort of opened myself up to it, which I know it's like,
talked to you, Dana, about all this. You were like,
you did what? But that was when I heard the voice of my grandfather. I swear, in my head, he said, don't. And my grandfather had a very distinctive way of talking. He was the gentlest man. I knew his voice, and I was like, oh, hi, Grandpa. And I haven't seen this man since I was 22 years old.
Did you see him?
No, I did not see him. I heard him. I heard his voice. Or something in my head wanted that voice to talk to me, because he would be someone I would listen to.
So you wanted to listen to the house, and maybe your grandfather, who knows, it told you not to.
Something in me
not do that.
Said don't. And I was like, oh, good advice. I won't do that. So I shut myself away. I was like, okay, never mind. Nobody's invited to talk to me. And then I was kind of quiet about it. I know I went a little quiet for a while there, but it was unusual. And then, of course, for a good long
this happened
time, I thought I'd imagined it, but
it happened in Sally's own room. It was a little dim room with stuffed animals and toys, and maybe that was the worst room to try and do it in, except maybe by the cave.
Oh, I wasn't trying anything
by
that cave.
Okay, yeah, of course.
That was bad. That was bad news.
Well, we got out of there okay. I'm not sure if we would have gotten out of there completely okay if that voice hadn't told you
Well,
to not.
maybe not, but our tour guides on that were the first ones I ever remember saying, we're going to now tell everything that we talked to or connected with that it has to stay here. And I don't remember any other guides ever saying,
But they can't come home.
you
with
can't
us.
come with us. You've got to stay here in this place, whatever spirits. So that was
Like,
pretty
oh,
interesting.
I'm glad you all told us now. We've been on like 4 harrowing trips now, and just now we're being told. No,
I mean, it's not their fault, but yeah, this was really the first we'd ever heard of it. And that's including at the Jefferson City Penitentiary, where they really might have wanted to say something, but I don't know, maybe they just get so many people there that they just forget, or they're not very experienced. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good
Any questions,
question.
Miss Dana?
That's a good question if they're experienced or not.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've only
No.
been on one ghost tour and they didn't do it either. They didn't do any protection prior
Okay.
or after. Um, but to take on with the energy taking, I went to a Reiki class and I was doing Reiki on this lady. And when I got to around her root chakra, her sacral chakra, I got around that, I instantly got very sick. I did the same thing. My head started
Wow.
spinning. I felt like I was going to toss it. Is because I was taking all that energy. I was, I was, I was taking the energy of that illness or whatever. I was bringing it forth to me. I was taking it on.
oh my
So I
gosh.
got really sick
Very.
and all of that. So I was like, I can't do this. I have to stop. I had to sit down for a few minutes and it went away. But with me,
Good.
that combining with the energy, it can do that. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And it'll combine. I mean, we're all as one. So if you think about it, you could intertwine with anything out there. Yeah. So
Intertwine. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. And it is definitely tempting to reach out and try to see things that you don't understand. But I don't know, for some reason it didn't occur to me that I needed to protect myself. Isn't that strange? But
Especially, I mean, we just didn't know. We didn't know that you could take anything home. I'm glad we had someone potentially looking out for us, and maybe your grandpa.
well, somebody, yeah,
Someone.
I hope it was grandpa, because that would be wonderful if he was. But I mean, I appreciated the sentiment, whoever reached out to help me that day.
Would you think?
yeah.
Do you think that our research out there helped you write Other Naturals?
Oh yeah. I mean, yes, I really do. Just because, okay, fiction writing, you always take some liberties. Absolutely take some liberties, but I do feel like I was able to more accurately describe what happens when they turn those cameras off. Um, on ghost hunting shows, you know that when those cameras go off, there's something happening behind the scenes. There, and I don't, I'm always interested to know that, but they don't show you that on television. So I really liked being able to know what might be going on when someone just arrives at a place like that, how you might
Yeah.
set up to investigate the feeling, like
The emotional
also
connection.
the emotional connections. And what you don't get on those shows is the smells and that clingy, that clingy emotional feeling of just pressure, the pressure in your ears, the nausea. It's hard to convey that. And you'll see people on ghost hunting shows say, my head is killing me, or I'm feeling so sick. And you're like, well, they could be faking that.
You
But
never know on TV what they're being genuine about and what they're not.
I do believe,
Exactly.
I mean, I believe more now, like when they say things like, I feel nauseous, my head is killing me, I'm dizzy. I'm like, yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
So yes, I do think it was very beneficial.
What they don't say on Ghost Adventures is, oh, hey, by the way, you might want to do some meditation and some guided prayer or something, because if you don't, you might be taking an evil spirit home with you, by the way. So just be careful about that.
Some of them do. Some
Oh,
of
do
them,
they?
some of them
So,
do.
okay,
Not all.
no.
But, I mean, this is not we're not trying to start a review of ghost hunting shows here, but this is the experience that we had before we
Yeah.
went out. We just watched television about it. It's not the best learning tool all the
Not the
time.
best learning tool.
After-
No, there's,
No,
yeah, you got to kind
no.
of talk with others that have been doing it for a while, someone that you feel you trust to give you the good, the right way to do it so that, so you are safe out there.
Dana, you would you be interested in doing any sort of investigations in your own area?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm on a search right now to find somebody in this area so that I can be taught the right way to do it, learn what to do, what not to do, how to react to different spirits. Um, Absolutely, I'm going to start off slow. I'm not going to jump into the Sally house. Um, I want to just, yeah,
Good, yeah.
everyone's different. Everyone has their own path. Just saying, this is where I'm at. I'm going to start
That
off
makes sense.
slow. We do have a lot of haunted areas around where I live. Um, our downtown area has a ghost tour down there that there's a lot of stuff underground. The one I took was up in
Oh,
Fort
cool.
Collins, and they have underground places that we went. One was like a prison where I forget who he was, darn. Um, he died there because they put him in, like you're saying, a dungeon, no lights, no nothing. And he was claustrophobic. And they put him in this place. Um he was a card dealer, a cheat, and all of this, in the bars in the 1800s. He was known for taking
Right.
people's money, that kind of thing. So they put him in this cell and they closed the bars, and they kept hearing him screaming all night, and then he's just stopped. Then he just
Oh,
stopped.
Cool.
And well, when they went down to check on him, he's curled up into a ball dead. Because when you think about it, you're in a absolutely dark room by yourself, no light whatsoever, no food, it's cold, and you're claustrophobic.
Okay. And I could see someone having a mental breakdown over something, over a situation like that easy.
and I can see why it's reputed to be haunted now. It, yes, that.
Yeah.
So if you're going into if you were going to go to a haunted location for your own benefit, what kind of people would you want with you? Or would you want to be by yourself more or less?
Oh, I want to have somebody with me at least until I feel comfortable of being able to handle what comes to me. Because you never know if you're doing a house, if someone calls up and says, "Hey, my house is haunted, come check it out," you know, I don't know what's
Yeah.
in there, you know, I don't know what's going on. This could be
Uh,
something evil, it could be
I would want to
something
know.
good. You just don't know.
I would want to know why a place is haunted. What spirits are there? What horrible things could have happened to them that made it such a bad place to be? It's one thing to go to a place that is haunted, but it's another reason I think it's another thing I think to go there with not being ignorant about it. Like, oh, I know that this is a house where a little girl died during a surgery, rather than just be like, oh, this has got ghosts in it or something.
well, and then of course, places are not always haunted because bad things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there can be hauntings for any number
Could
of
be.
reasons, but
Right. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you don't know, and that's a two-way thing. Um, some people go into these investigations not knowing a thing about it because they don't want any um
like
ego stuff
preconceived
coming in.
notions. Yeah,
Thank you. So they don't want to go in like that. So they go into it completely unknowledgeable so that they can pick up. And then after the investigation, then they do the research and say, oh, yeah, that's why I heard
that
this. This
actually
is
makes a
why
lot
I
of
felt
sense.
that. That's why this, that's that. And then others, they do want to know what's going on so they know what to kind of expect. I just want to learn both ways, because right now, where I stand at the moment, I want to go in with no knowledge to see what I can pick up. And
Yeah,
I've only
I can
done
see that.
one, yeah, I've only done one investigation from a friend's house. And this friend is not scared of any of the spirits that's around there. So I felt pretty comfortable just kind of going in, seeing what I can do. But I did pick up on a few things that she didn't tell me anything about it, but I did pick up on a few things that she had been seeing and feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
So I felt pretty good. But before I went in, I did my prayer. Before I got in my car, I did my prayer that I know, what little I know. But that's why I want to go with somebody much more experienced so I can learn better
What little you
techniques
know,
and
though, what little you know is more than what
Yeah.
we started with. So that's, yeah, you're on the right, you're on the right track there. I mean, we did really kind of learn this backwards. And I think you're the first person we've talked to, honestly, who has said, you might want to be a little more careful about that. Nobody, and it's not like we've been secretive about this. We talk about this all the
Maybe
time.
we could spread some awareness doing this and talking about
Well,
it.
it never hurts, right?
Absolutely.
absolutely.
But
It's a
also,
good thing. Yeah, good thing to protect. No matter what you're doing, even psychics out there, when they're doing readings, when I do card readings, there's always a protection too. If I have my saging to protect me after each reading
mm,
because you don't want their energy to stay with you. I have to send that energy back to them and all too. So it's not
Okay. All right.
just with ghost hunting, it's with everything because that energy could stick with you and you may not want that energy with you because you don't know. Everybody
no,
has to keep their own
not if it's
energy.
going to be a drain. Right.
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 So if you go to any holistic shows there in Kansas, if you go to any of those shows and you watch a card reader or um, any type of reader of any sort, you watch them. When somebody leaves, they're going to protect themselves. They're going to have a selenite
Interesting.
stick to cleanse themselves, or they're going to be spraying something. They're going to be doing something to keep themselves safe.
That's
Well,
really
you
interesting.
remember the girl who read the Irish Stones? Um,
Right.
right.
Okay.
And that we've been to things like that, and we've been to a tarot card reader, and what did she call those? She read stones, and they were Irish
I'm
runes.
sorry, I can't remember it at the
It
moment.
was very
Yeah.
beautiful. It was a very beautiful reading that she did for us. And yes, they do. They have a candle burning, and then I think sage was, yeah, I think one was using sage. So I absolutely know what you're talking about.
Burning incense and holding up a lantern. Also a data last time we talked, you said just when you go into a house, it might not be a bad idea to just announce yourself because that's what you would do if you
Interesting.
go to a stranger's home. You would want to be say, "Hey, this is my name. This is why I'm here. These are my intentions. I'm not just trespassing on your territory." And I think being polite in the real world is a good way to make it far in the other world too, you know?
Well, would you go?
I
Certainly.
would you go to your neighbor's house that just moved in and just walk in and say, "Hey, I'm here. What do you want? What's in your fridge? Let me go to your bedroom and let's see what's in your drawers." Would you do that?
Absolutely
No,
not.
no,
Of course not.
Not. No, you're going to go over, you're going to knock and say, "Hi, I'm your neighbor. My name is, and I'd like to be friends." Right?
Okay.
That's how you treat
That's a
them
good
too.
idea.
You treat them like human too, because they are. They have
Right.
they have the feelings. They're human in a different level, if that makes sense to anybody. But they're human.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that, and they used to be human, and in fact, they may be more human than we are now.
It's well, all right. So we have a couple of other sort of tales we can tell. I don't know what time it is now.
I think Dana wants to talk to us again.
If we're running up against our hour, I'm not sure. Time flies.
Yeah,
when
we
you're
have a
having
few more
fun,
minutes.
so-
We have a few more minutes because I have one
Okay,
more
all
story
right.
I want to tell you guys. So go ahead and
Please
couple
go
more
ahead.
stories.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Are you guys interested in anything outside of the ghost?
We love Bigfoot investigations. Never been on one, but love them. Absolutely love hearing about them.
I'm privy to aliens myself. By anything.
Okay, all right. So Bigfoot may be my thing, but Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yetis, howlers, whatever you want to call them.
Anything that relates to the energy of the body is things I'm interested in.
Missouri has its own monster, so we're real creative. We just call him the Missouri Monster.
I was going to say Missouri, from my understanding, has a lot of sightings of Sasquatch. I'm very interested in the cryptids myself, which Sasquatch, Mothman. I can never remember when I'm thinking of fairies. I believe are in the cryptids. Little people.
I saw a fairy, and someone was like, "That's not a cryptid." I would call them nuts, man.
Yeah,
you'd call it what?
If I saw a fairy and someone said that's not a cryptid, I'd be like, "You're crazy." That's what I would tell them.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of them out there. I'm interested in all that. That's another direction that I'm looking towards is investigating that. We have Sasquatch a lot up in our mountains too. And I believe I've heard one in my front yard. So I believe,
front yard?
Yeah. And I'm in the city. And I feel like I've seen a couple possible cryptids on my way to work. And I've seen lights in the sky. I have been visited by 6 grays. So I'm on the ET side too. I would love to have a CE5, which is contact with the contact with them. I'd love to have one of those, even though I've seen them. I've felt them in my current home. I've had another experience. I can't say exactly how or what that was, but I had a witness on that one. Do you want to hear it? So I'm going to work. I have a carpool. I'm driving. My carpool's sitting next to me, and we get to this one section. It takes about 15, 26 seconds when this all happened. I instantly felt myself behind me as like energy. I wasn't in body or anything. I was just an energy behind me. And I was sitting there like struggling to try and say a single word. I don't even know what word I was trying to say, but I was struggling to try to say it. Wow. Then I felt I was slammed back in my body. So my body did that little jello move thing as it slammed in back in. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, oh crap, the stop sign came up fast. Okay. That's my experience. Okay.
Oh my God.
Dana.
And then
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah. 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 So the person I was carpooling with, she was going on because we were talking about this during our break. And we were talking, and she's like, "Yeah, you look like you were like vegged out. You were just like in zoned, and you were driving different than you normally do. You were going faster than you normally do, and you weren't dodging the manholes because I have this thing of
Oh
dodging
no.
manholes. Like I don't want to hit anybody when they're stuck underneath or something. I don't know. But anyways, I have this
Oh my goodness.
thing with that. And she's like, you weren't dodging them. And she said I was talking very slow, like in slow motion. Okay.
Whoa.
So that's what she encountered during this 15-20 second time frame. And then during break, we were talking about this, and then somebody else and her daughter was sitting at a table nearby, and the mom was talking about seeing these lights and everything that morning, blah blah blah. And then her daughter's like, "You're crazy, mom. You didn't see any lights in the sky." Is like, there you go. There you
Same
go.
time?
About the same
Oh
time.
my goodness. Um, I've
Yeah.
seen someone go into a sort of a trance like that before. Um, I mean,
You've seen someone?
okay, don't tell her I said this, but your grandmother, your other grandmother, Carla, I've seen her drop down into she went into like a very focused, like but different state. She didn't feel like she was with us anymore. And then she began to talk in very slow motion and actually said very slowly, there's a tornado. And that scared me to death because we get deadly tornadoes through here. We're
Mhm.
not as bad as Oklahoma, but it's not a far cry, right? And
Right.
and then when
I had no idea this happened. Oh my
it
goodness.
scared me
I
silly.
bet. No.
Because then when she kind of came to, I said, "What did you say about a tornado?" And she said, "I didn't say anything about a tornado." Yeah, you did. Now I thought maybe she had just maybe had a blood sugar issue or something. But anyway, so
These are, you know, we're running into this topic a lot of unknown entities affecting our energy. I think I felt it happen before, I think.
well, I'm just like if your friend who was with you, if she saw that happening, I mean, it's noticeable. So yeah, I mean, she could
Yeah.
obviously see that something had changed about you. It's
Yeah.
distinct. You're like, that's not Dana.
Mhm.
Dana is far away
Do
right
you
now.
remember dropping? Do you remember being in that state?
No, all I remember,
Like,
I felt energy. I was energy behind me. I was out of body and was just like a ball of energy behind me.
Whoa.
But I
oh
didn't
my.
see me. I didn't see anything. I was just a ball of energy in darkness. So yeah, I was
Wow.
just a
Dana, oh my
ball of
gosh.
energy. Yeah. So it was quite different, but I've had missing time multiple times before. Multiple times. So yeah,
Does that worry you? Does it
let me
scare
tell you
you?
this. Let me tell you this. I don't work far from my house because I always thought it was because I was falling asleep. So I work very close to my house, as close as I can get.
Okay,
I don't work too
that's
far
probably
because
safer.
of right, because I do not.
Right,
One time
right.
I was driving and I thought I was asleep at that time because it happened so often in the early 90s. I did a lot of sleeping behind the wheel and it scared
Oh
me. It really did. It scared
Oh my
me. And
God.
one time I looked in my rearview mirror and there was a cop behind me. It's like if I was stopped by a cop, I don't know if I got a ticket or not. I don't know if there's a warrant out for my arrest or not because I don't remember anything. I don't remember
You're
a
watching
thing.
in a state you don't even know it. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Dana, that's
Well,
what that makes
great.
so
We're
scary.
both wanted.
I've been in one uh, pretty bad car accident, and I don't want to drive. Like I barely want to drive anymore. I can't imagine what it must be like for you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty scary. So that's why I don't work too far from my house because I don't like that feel. I don't like the feel of not knowing where I'm at. And at that time I was driving multiple miles. There was one I left the house, I locked the house, I turned around or I locked the house, I was gone. I don't remember turning around, walking out to the street, getting in my car, driving 30 miles, 30 plus miles with multiple turns, getting to work, parking, walking into the building, punching in, going to our meetings until I was there talking with the guys at work. It was all blinked out. It was
Wow.
probably a good hour and a half of time. I don't remember. I don't
Dana,
remember.
oh my God, it's terrifying.
It is pretty
Have
scary,
you
you know.
have you
I've
sought
had
someone to
times.
help you with that?
No, no, but but I just started working closer to home. So I don't work 30 miles from home
Right.
anymore. If I could work 2 blocks from home, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I don't
Understandable.
I'm
like
glad
to
you're
do the
taking those
driving.
precautions.
Oh yeah, because I don't want to be the one to cause an accident because of that. You know, I don't want to be that person. So I am
This
very
is interesting.
cautious. Well, I've got lots of stories for you guys too. I mean, I could go on. I'm
This is
about ready to start a
great.
book of my own because I have so many stories of little things like this
You
happen.
absolutely should.
Hey, we're
I'm working on
ghostwriters.
it.
We can help you with that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think books like that are so much fun, and sharing your experience, you absolutely should. I think books are great. They should be shared. Yeah, you should do it.
Well, I got to get my thoughts together. I'm starting to organize in my head a little bit. So it's coming into more, it's coming about a little bit more now. So
That's
Okay.
very
it's working.
cool.
You want to talk with us again?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we
Okay.
do have another time
Well,
set up in about a week or so.
we
So
do in a
yes.
week, and we've got our scary taxidermy house story. Jake said, save that one for the end.
And, we should talk about working at Worlds of Fun just a little bit in
Oh,
this
right.
Creatures.
Was we were
We
yeah,
don't have to go too much into that,
scare
but
actors and stuff. But that was a learning experience
yeah,
too,
yeah.
for a different reason. But it's all about energy. I think this is why we harp on that so much, is our experience in a playtime, like a Halloween literally haunted house. So not like a real haunted house, but the energy is off the charts there, and that is really what we wrote the book about. So
Hey,
um
happy third anniversary, Light Talk. Thank you for
oh,
having us
yes,
on.
Thank
anniversary
you.
indeed.
Yes, I'm very excited.
That's so
It's
good.
it's been like I say, it's been so much fun. It's I'm so thankful for all my guests and all my subscribers. You know, I don't really advertise my show. So my subscribers are all by hearsay. It's all by word of mouth. So I am so excited. In fact, quick little fun story. My sister was listening to one of my podcasts the other day, and she had a coworker with her. She's like, "Who are you listening to? This is a really good show." She started
Oh, hey,
listening now.
cool, cool.
Awesome.
So
Well,
yeah, I mean,
we're
it's
gonna
just
we're gonna talk you up.
oh, thank
We're gonna
you, thank you.
absolutely share our links with everybody we know, so you may get some Missouri fans now. So
Yeah,
um
bring them on
yeah,
if they
because
have stories. Send
Oh,
them
there
my
we
way if
go.
you have people that have stories.
yeah, and I know we do actually. Now whether they're willing to talk,
They
It's
might
some
be a
okay.
people
little,
are a little shy,
they might
you
be a
know,
little paranoid.
but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I know it, people are, that's why I have the show, so people know that they're not going crazy, that this stuff is out there. People are seeing this, people are experiencing this. Like I say, I've experienced multiple things now, and it's real. The stuff is real. It does
Okay.
happen.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad. Hopefully, we can spread some awareness today.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely will be there. It will be the example of how
Yeah.
not to get started.
Oh my goodness.
Although, I mean, I'm glad we came out okay, but if anybody can
yes.
learn from us, that would be great. That would be great.
Anything else
Yeah.
for us today, Dana?
No, I am so happy you guys were able to come join me today, and I'm glad you guys again are safe and sound and
And
have
safer now, yes.
Yeah.
another tip. I'm thinking, because I know I'm going to be going into all of this investigation too. So what I've already done is I have emergency contacts for my husband, so that if I come home and I start acting weird, he's got some numbers he can instantly call and say, "Hey, she's acting weird. She
Oh,
went
there you
on a
go.
hunt." So you can have
Wow.
something like that in case something comes home with me. So I already have contact
That's a nice thinking.
emergency. Yeah,
So
emergency
you can have it
contacts.
taken care of quickly then. And so yeah, so you don't have to wait 2 weeks till somebody figures it out. Okay, that's actually very smart. And
So
that's
yeah,
one I've never heard before is making people aware of where you've been.
If
And
I'm acting differently, let me know or call someone.
yes,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
very
that's
good idea.
brilliant.
yeah, yeah. So
Because if
I
I start
have,
acting different.
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, Dana,
yeah.
go on.
No, you're cool. If you're, that's just something I thought about because I'm still new at this, and I want to make sure that if anything does come home, I have somebody that can call instantly, and my contacts know me, and they're like, okay, boom, I could get somebody on you and get you taken care of. So
That's
it's
really
not
smart.
so.
I mean, it's so forward thinking because I mean, if you will come home acting strangely, you might not recognize it in yourself.
And it might happen so gradually. You might just think that whatever's going on with you is natural.
Especially if you've had experiences of losing time. I would be, yeah, I think your vigilance is absolutely justified.
You may not remember acting differently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
We're not trying to like freak you out or anything.
No,
but
that's why I had this.
Yeah, I think it's very smart.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be very protective with me and my husband. My husband, I had one guest that spoke of coming home and was wanting to kill everybody in the house.
Oh.
So she came home, she brought somebody home with her and possessed her, and then she's wanting to, take care of the whole house.
That's
So
dark.
that type stuff you got to be careful with. This is why I'm talking with you guys on this, is you got to be careful. That's why I have emergency numbers. So if my husband's getting scared of something that I'm doing that's not me, he can say, "Hey, she's acting weird. We need help," because he's not going to know.
Right.
He's not into this. So he's not going to know. So he needs to know how to protect me, to protect him, to protect everybody.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, very good point. Excellent.
Yeah, we need to like make a list on a screen, like
what's it do
the top 10 things to remember to do. Seriously, this is great advice.
Chris, if I ever start acting different, you got to tell someone, okay?
You better believe I will.
Right.
I will sit on you hard. So, yeah, but no, this is very, very interesting.
Yeah, just some pointers. Like say, I'm not a pro. I'm very beginner, but I've listened to enough people to kind of pick up on some things that is very helpful to get yourself started. So
thank you for the advice, Dana.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I love helping others out. if I can help you out, I'm here. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you.
So you guys have any last comments or anything?
Just stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Same bat time, same bat channel. Because we did have a very interesting experience at a seance just this last October. So yeah, I love to share this story because I'm an animal lover. So
And I think talking about being screamsters, I think that'll be very interesting.
that is fun too. That's a fun, not so much haunting, but more about energy and the energy we all share.
And the attitudes people bring into even fake haunted houses.
Seriously, yes, that's true. So
In a big haunted house like that, you're liable to get punched, and you're not a ghost to phase right through it.
That's not supernatural though. That's just
those real people scare me more than ghosts do.
Oh no, absolutely.
Living people scare me more. So if my people at work like to come up and scare people, and I tell them, you better watch out, because if I hit you, I'm not responsible. Don't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't do it.
That's great. That's great.
Scare me at your own risk. Scare me at your own risk. Yeah.
Duly noted. Cool. We will not do that.
Nope.
Is that us for us?
I guess it's it for now.
Yeah, that'll be good for now, and then we will talk with you in about a week.
That sounds great.
This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it does fly by. It does fly by. All right. Anybody else out there that has a story you would like to share, email me at lighttalk423@gmail.com, and we will see everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.